Hey, everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking on your Tuesday night? Hope it's a good one for you. Tonight, I am going to tell you all about the history of the Super Bowl halftime show. It's interesting. Trust me. Trust me. And by the way, out of the gate tonight, Julian Zeezer gifting us a membership. Somebody's going to get a free membership. I don't know. The folks on YouTube can probably tell me. And therefore, yes, Julian Zeezer gets the point. Highly sought after by followers of the Tom Gulley Show. Not just everybody gets one of those. Julian adds, my teacher. Oh, wait, what? Sorry. Please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all the absolutely free things you can do that help us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-seeing algorithm. Plus, right, we do take the super chats, we do take the memberships and pay the bills around here. And as Julian Zeezer just showed you, you want to turn on those gifted memberships. You could get one given to you for free and then get that members-only exclusive content that we show you on the weekend. Julian gave us that membership. We gave him the point, and he adds, my music teacher performed at the Super Bowl halftime show years ago. He used to be a utility musician for Taylor Swift. He also did Times Square New Year's in front of more than 1 million people. 1 million people. Stanley Cross is here. Stan the man from at the Urban Landlord on YouTube. You definitely need to check him out. Always some interesting programming there. Always informational. Always contentious. Always, let's just say there's fireworks there. Better than most Super Bowl halftimes. Julian Zeezer says, greetings. We do have the most cheerful chat room on the internet as verified by independent sources. Many independent sources. Yes. This past Super Bowl has generated a great deal of controversy. We'll touch upon it at the very end of our history because I'm going to sort of tell you about the halftime shows in general, and then we're going to go through every single performing featured thing that's ever happened at the Super Bowl. And people exchanging all sorts of wonderful exchanges of exchangement. I've been watching Kolchak the Night Stalker for the last 24 hours. It's been a thing. It's been a thing. And it's really good. It's much better than I even remembered. So I recommend that you do that. And I also recommend that you not watch a lot of the early Super Bowl halftime shows, which we'll get into in a minute. Less than a minute, because I'm not waiting around on this. I got some cooking to do this evening. I'm starving. Starving. Does you hear me? Absolutely starving. And, behind me is the halftime of the very first Super Bowl. It could be the pregame. I don't know. I don't really know. It's the field and the stadium and things that are meant to provide a reasonable facsimile of the first Super Bowl halftime show, which we'll get to here in just a second. Incidentally, keep in mind your favorite halftime show, if you have one. A lot of people don't care about the game. A lot of people don't care about the halftime show. But if you have one, now save it. All right? Just save it. And at the end, we'll ask for everybody's deal, and we'll turn on the phone lines, as usual. Anyway, I should probably get down to cases on the Super Bowl. As I made coffee. It's far too hot to drink. I can't drink scalding hot coffee. I have a brother who can eat super, like, ridiculously spicy hot foods, and he can drink molten lava. I don't know how he does it. He should be a Marvel superhero as far as drinking liquids are concerned. And by the way, he's got another issue with drinking liquids we won't get into. Anyway, halftime shows, as most of you know, are a tradition in American football. And that doesn't really matter. From high school on up, the halftime show is a big thing. So entertainment during the Super Bowl, which is by far the most watched sporting event here in the United States, which incidentally dwarfs in comparison to many soccer matches that will take place throughout the year. The Super Bowl, it's big here. And they do get some worldwide viewership. But compared to, say, like the Champions League final or even the semifinal, I mean, please. I won't compare it to the World Cup because the World Cup's every 4 years, and I don't think that would be fair. But if I was to do that, 1.5 billion people watch the World Cup final. Just putting things in perspective. But the Super Bowl halftime show has become a major pop culture event. However, during most of the Super Bowl's first decade, which started in 1967, the halftime show featured college marching bands. Now, if you were in band, they would be a tremendous spectacle, and marching bands used to be a much bigger thing. Even on regular broadcasts of college football, everybody would go, oh, he's going to dot the I in Ohio. And look, they're making the shape of a, gopher, whatever. But a lot of times the announcers talked over it. They do a couple close-ups and some of the patterns and things. But then the second decade of the Super Bowl's halftime show was almost like a variety show. They'd feature drill teams, different other kinds of performance ensembles. In great shame, I will tell you that they also featured the performance group Up With People, which Up With People is a group that sings and dances. It tours the United States, or at least used to. One of my classmates at Ball State was in Up With People, to his great shame, and we never let him forget it. Up with people. But then Up With People would also get hired to perform for corporations and stuff. And it would be part of the act. We're celebrating GM's 75th year. Oh, yes, we're celebrating GM's 75th year. It's just really bad. Now, in the 90s, what had happened was a lot of people started to counter-program against the halftime show. They were like, the Super Bowl's got this giant audience. Everybody's watching it, but the halftime show sucks. And that's when you saw the Lingerie Bowl, the Puppy Bowl, the Bud Bowl, which was basically Bud and Bud Light beer bottles animated, playing each other in what... Look, I don't like to cast aspersions, but it was a scripted game. I think it was fixed. Anyway, and then that's when they started to get popular music acts, New Kids on the Block, Michael Jackson, Gloria Estefan, Clint Black, Patti LaBelle, Tony Bennett, that kind of thing. Starting with Super Bowl 32, commercial sponsors presented the halftime show, and within 5 years, the tradition of having a theme, which started in Super Bowl III, ended. This year's Super Bowl, the theme is ways to make America great, or some dumb theme. They stopped that. Okay? And so big rock and roll acts started. We had a thing happen at Super Bowl 38. Yeah. I think we all know what I'm going to talk about here for just a second. We'll talk about it again in a minute. But that was the legendary wardrobe malfunction on the part of Janet Jackson, with a little assist from Justin Timberlake. When one of Janet Jackson's maracas, can we say maracas? Was displayed for a brief split second on worldwide television. And after that happened, for about 6 years, all the halftime shows were basically a single artist or group, with the artist being rock or popular music artists from the 60s, 70s, and 80s that were considered, in air quotes, family friendly. And this has been sort of referred to as the age of reactionary halftime shows. Yes. Since Super Bowl, I don't know how to do Roman XLV in 2010. I guess Super Bowl might have taken place in 2011. The halftime show returned to featuring very contemporary acts with a single headline artist and maybe some, you might consider them guests or, surprise people joining in with that big artist. Now, let's get this straight, okay? The NFL does not pay the halftime show performers an appearance fee, but it does cover all the expenses for the performers. So their hotel, their travel, everything else, and their entourage of band members, their management, their technical crew, security personnel, family, and friends. Yeah. Now, there's an exception to this, and that was the Super Bowl 27 halftime show with Michael Jackson. The NFL and Frito-Lay, the sponsor of the halftime show, agreed to make a donation and provide commercial time for Jackson's Heal the World Foundation. So he didn't really get paid, but he kind of got paid. According to Nielsen, the halftime performers regularly experience a very significant spike in album sales and paid digital downloads due to the exposure. For Super Bowl XLIX, it was reported by the Wall Street Journal that league officials asked representatives of potential acts if they would be willing to provide financial compensation to the NFL in exchange for their appearance, in form of an upfront fee or a cut of revenue from concert performances made after the Super Bowl. So you went from, we're not paying you, to, yeah, okay, you're paying us. Now, the NFL denied this. Yeah. And the very request, the asking, got what they called a very chilly reception from the NFL. The NFL was like, yeah, don't ask us that. We don't want to actually, no, we're not going to, no. Hey, let's get to a few of your comments. Nerve damage isn't a superpower. I agree. Paused Up Patriot here. He says, hey, Tom. Hey, Paz, what's going on? Rumple Trenchcoat said, yes, this is the boob heard round the world. And that also reverberated into other parts of broadcasting because the FCC cracked down famously on Howard Stern and other radio shock jocks after that, as well as cracking down on a lot of risque and vulgar content on the television. So Scott LaRock said it was maraca meat with a big piercing and a plate covering the nip, if I remember it vividly. You got that in a screensaver? Julian Caesar says they need to get rid of the Roman numerals and just say the year. Well, they started the Roman numerals to sort of differentiate, but I don't know. It's not their fault that I'm stupid. Some of them, I mean, I know all, but the L, what's the L? I don't know what the L is. The X and the all the way up to 10, I get it. But the L, I can't. The very first Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. And it was held at Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in 1967. And the performers were the University of Arizona Symphonic Marching Band. And then very significantly, and if you've never seen this band, look, I may poke fun at some of these marching bands. This one I will not poke fun at because it regularly destroys all the other bands, both in musical performance, musical selection, and on the field getting after it. That is the Grambling State University Marching Band. Al Hirt, legendary trumpet player Al Hirt. You ever hear the Flight of the Bumblebee? His version of that is the best one ever. And then, you're not going to believe this, the Anaheim High School Anna High Steppers Drill Team and Flag Girls. A high school band? What? The next year, I got to quit saying on this show. I listened to a show back yesterday by accident, and I say too much. I got to quit that. Super Bowl II, Grambling State University was the only performer. Super Bowl III, Florida A&M University, and some Miami area high school bands. We entered the 70s with Super Bowl IV, which had a theme called Tribute to Mardi Gras, because it was in New Orleans. Marguerite Piazza, Doc Severinsen. Yes, the legendary Doc Severinsen from The Tonight Show. Al Hirt once again made an appearance. Lionel Hampton performed at halftime of this Super Bowl. Carol Channing. Thank heaven for little girls. Awful. And the Southern University Marching Band. Super Bowl V in Miami had no theme, sadly. Southeast Missouri State Marching Band. Anita Bryant, who was this uber patriotic, very anti-LGBTQ singer and performer, was there with, yes, up with people. We're learning to dance and we're learning to... Super Bowl VI, also in New Orleans, was a salute to Louis Armstrong. It featured Ella Fitzgerald, Carol Channing, again, for reasons unknown to the entire earth. And I've still yet to find out how Carol Channing became famous. Al Hirt was there. The USAFA Cadet Chorale, the U.S. Marine Drill Corps team, and the Tyler Junior College Apache Bells and Band out of Tyler, Texas. Super Bowl VII, Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. The theme was Happiness Is. And the University of Michigan Marching Band, along with the Woody Herman Orchestra and Andy Williams. Super Bowl VIII, the University of Texas Longhorn Band. Judy Mallett, who was Miss Texas 1973, and she helped him out by playing the fiddle. Yes, she played the fiddle. Yeah, I said it. Fiddle is what she did. Super Bowl IX was in Tulane Stadium in New Orleans again. The theme was tribute to Duke Ellington, Mercer Ellington, and the Grambling State University Marching Band was there as well. Super Bowl X, Miami, the Orange Bowl. It was in 1976, which was the bicentennial year, if you remember, 200 years of America. And the theme for that one was 200 years and just a baby, a tribute to America's bicentennial. And the solitary performer was up Up with people. We're learning to sing and we're learning to dance and up, up. This guy would tell us, well, about all of his travels with Up With People, and we would just go, oh, you've been to Denmark. Oh, you've been to London. Oh, well, yeah, but you were in Up With People. So how can you know what I'm saying? I did it again. Super Bowl 11. The theme was, It's a Small World. And the only performer was, well, there were kind of two performers, but really one. Los Angeles Unified All-City Band with the New Mouseketeers and an audience card stunt. There were cards placed in the audience all over the stadium, and they were instructed when to turn them over to make various things happen because that's fun. Super Bowl 12, the Louisiana Superdome, from Paris to Paris of America. That's right. The Tyler Apache Bells drill team was there again, the Apache band. Pete Fountain and Al Hurt, two woodwind, well, Pete Fountain was woodwind, and two guys that played horns. There you go. Are you getting the feeling yet that the Super Bowl's halftime show was not only not a big deal, it was pretty awful. It's pretty terrible for a long time. Oh, let's see. Now we enter the 80s. Before we do, I'll get to some of your comments. Scott LaRock says, L is 50. I don't know. Who knows? Dang it. Again. I got to quit that. Terry Nee says, Tom retired in 1967. I did not. I hadn't even entered grade school. You. By the way, hello, Terry Nee. Julian Zezer says, if we voted on doing away with halftime and just keeping the game going, I know how the vote would fall out. Jolly Green Giant says, where is Wolfie? I haven't seen him yet. He'll be here when he gets here, if he gets here. Coach Mike Rodix, she was just fiddling around. Hacka. Good evening, chat. Oh, hey, Tom. Scott LaRock said, Perry Caravello loved Up With People. How? It seems like anything they did would set him off. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love Perry Caravello. And I have nothing against him personally, but the screaming and the just... If I put a fork in this show, that's one of the reasons why. I know I'm old. Actually, I'm his age, probably, or roughly the same age. Gotta quit with the uhs. And I just don't get it. Maybe I'm not supposed to. Julian Zezer says, I just looked outside and the ground is covered with snow. How did that happen? I don't know. But here in Dallas, let's see here. It's 45 degrees, but we've had that drizzle. It's been between 42 and 40 some degrees. I would rather have it be 15, 20 degrees with no precipitation than I would 42 and raining. I think that 42 and raining is the coldest thing ever. What's with the Jolly Green Giant, I hate my wife. She wronged me. What did you do? Hide your beer? Coach Mike Roddick says, it's still terrible. Just a different terrible. Valid opinion. Where is Doc Torn? I don't know. Doc Torn. Sorry, we may not see Doc Torn. If you recall, he went and picked up his lovely lady. So he's only got her for a week. We may not see him for a week. And by golly, you two crazy kids, go out there and have yourself a great time. We're thinking about you. Scott LaRock says Perry is 60, so we're roughly the same age. Julian Zezer says, play a short soccer game during halftime and make Tom happy. They could just have penalty kicks. Just do some penalty kicks. One team against the other. There's a lot of things they could do that would make me happy. In the 80s, Super Bowl 14, I guess, A salute to the big band era, once again horrifyingly featured Up with People. But they hipped it up. It's like they went, somebody, high atop the NFL went, look, if we're going to put those squares that are in Up with People out there, we gotta do something to hip them up a little. So they put the Grambling State University marching bands on there. And those, if you've never seen Grambling, they got that down. Super Bowl 15 was Mardi Gras Festival, Southern University Marching Band with Helen O'Connell. Helen O'Connell, of course, an American singer, actress, and hostess, was described as the quintessential big band singer of the 1940s. Of course, by that time, she was probably 80 years old or something. Oh, let's see here. Super Bowl 16 in the Pontiac Silverdome. So now this one, salute to the 1960s in Motown. And you're thinking, well, now, finally, they're going to get a gang of legendary Motown artists together. They're going to really turn it on. Nope. You know who did those great 60s and Motown hits? I'll give you one guess. Up with People. I heard it through the grapevine. Whoops. But we almost had a major show accident right there. What the hell did I do? There we go. A major show accident because I chose to mock Up with People. Anyway, oh boy. Super Bowl 17 was in the Rose Bowl. The theme was Kaleidos Superscope, which, what the hell does that mean? And that was the Los Angeles Super Drill Team. I guess they had a big, I don't know. Super Bowl 18, Tampa Stadium, salute to superstars of silver screen, University of Florida and Florida State University marching bands. Super Bowl 19, Stanford Stadium in California, World of Children's Dreams was the theme. The entertainment was Tops in Blue, which was a touring performance ensemble made of active duty members of the United States Air Force. There you go. Probably not as exciting as it sounds. I'm sorry, I'm having a little fun with that because I like to do that sometimes. It's a little fun, with the, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Super Bowl 20, the Superdome, Beat of the Future. And to emblematically represent the beat of the future, that halftime show featured what can only be described as the pulse beat of America, the future, the vanguard, the forward-thinking way of capturing the future. And for that, they selected Up with People. Super Bowl 21 in the Rose Bowl. Salute to Hollywood's 100th anniversary. The World of Make-Believe. George Burns. Mickey Rooney. Luckily, they again invited Grambling State University and the USC marching band, Disney characters, and Southern California area high school drill teams and dancers. Super Bowl 22 was in Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. Something grand. And you might think it's just something grand. No, think of grand piano. And you need to think of grand piano because the performers were Chubby Checker, the Rockettes, 88 grand piano players. They had 88 grand pianos on the playing field. The combined San Diego State University Marching Aztecs, California State University Northridge Marching Band, and USC Marching Bands. So they put 3 marching bands together. How about that? Super Bowl 23, Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami. The theme was 1950s rock and roll, bebop bamboozled in 3D. Who was the corny, lame person coming up with these themes? Okay, I'll tell you the good part first. One of the performers, kind of, if you could call him a performer, was South Florida area dancers and performers. Okay. But the main performer, I vote this for the worst performer ever, the Super Bowl halftime show. Elvis Presto. Yeah. An Elvis impersonator was the single performer. Do you not wonder why they started counter-programming this with puppies and beer bottles and chicks in lingeries? Oh, God. Super Bowl 24, Louisiana Superdome. Theme was a salute to New Orleans and 40th anniversary of the popular comic strip Peanuts. Pete Fountain was there to play. Doug Kershaw. Now, Doug Kershaw is a country artist. All he did was play the fiddle. Irma Thomas, a singer from New Orleans, known as the Soul Queen of New Orleans. Nicholls State University Marching Band, Southern University Marching Band, USL Marching Band, which is, at the time, it was probably Southwest Louisiana State Marching Band, University of Louisiana at Lafayette. Some people call it ULA, the Ragin' Cajuns, basically. Super Bowl 25 was in Tampa Stadium. The theme was Small World Tribute to 25 years of the Super Bowl. Now there's a little New Kids on the Block, performed with Disney characters. For some reason, NFL quarterback Warren Moon and 2,000 local children, in addition to another one of those card stunts where they turn the cards over and stuff in the audience. Super Bowl 26 was in the Metrodome up there in Minneapolis. The theme was Winter Magic, salute to the 1992 Winter Olympics. The artist, and I think this is when you're starting to see him get a little more like relevant, okay? Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine. Olympic figure skaters Brian Boitano and Dorothy Hamill. Members of the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team, Miracle on Ice. Do you believe in miracles? The University of Minnesota Marching Band. Super Bowl 27, Rose Bowl, Pasadena, California, and there was no theme. Why would you need a theme when the performer that year was, yes, the king of pop, Michael Jackson? So this is when the NFL went, look, we ain't playing no more. We ain't playing no more. We're going to start getting legitimate people to do this. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, they don't pay the performers, but they did give a sizable, charitable donation to Michael Jackson's foundation, and also they gave him airtime during the Super Bowl in the form of a commercial. Super Bowl 28, the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. The theme was, and this is appropriate for Atlanta, Rockin' Country Sunday. And who were the performers? Well, one of them was, yes, Clint Black. The others were Tanya Tucker, Travis Tritt. I'm a big Travis Tritt and kind of a Clint Black fan. Travis Tritt, he's got a lot of good ones, man. You say you were wrong. Anyway, here's a quarter called Someone Who Cares. And the Judds. The Judds. Winona and Naomi Judd. Super Bowl 29, Joe Robbie Stadium again in Miami. The theme, Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye. Forbidden Eye? What the? Okay. The performers were Patti LaBelle, Indiana Jones, which was not Harrison Ford, trust me. Marion Ravenwood, who is another Basically, Marion is the Karen Allen character in the Indiana Jones movies, but it wasn't really her. Teddy Pendergrass, how about that? Tony Bennett, Arturo Sandoval, major great Cuban American musician, trumpet, piano, timbalero, and a composer as well. Just a great thing. And the Miami Sound Machine. So that's a heck of a lineup. Now they're getting serious. And to give you an idea of how serious they were getting, the next Super Bowl, Super Bowl 30, was in Sun Devil Stadium, Tempe, Arizona. Take Me Higher, a celebration of 30 years of the Super Bowl. And who did they get? Miss Diana Ross. Oh, yeah. Now that was a biggie. A big biggie. And then maybe a little hiccup here. Well, no, it wasn't a little hiccup. Part of it might be seen as a hiccup, but not the whole thing. Super Bowl 31, the Louisiana Superdome, was known as the Blues Brothers Bash. And the Blues Brothers were there, Dan Aykroyd, John Goodman, and Jim Belushi, to replace his late brother, John Belushi. Without John Belushi, is it really... I mean, it is, but is it? However, put that to the side for a second. Pretend that didn't happen. Because the other performers were ZZ Top and James Brown. Huh? So that was pretty good. They also list Catherine Cryer, who's an American journalist. She did some sort of a news intro for it. A lot of people had a problem with her. I thought she was hot, so I didn't care. Super Bowl 32, Qualcomm Stadium, San Diego, California. Now, this was called a salute to Motown's 40th anniversary. And let me tell you what, they didn't mess around. Boyz II Men, Smokey Robinson, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, The Temptations, Queen Latifah, and Queen Latifah then became the first rap artist ever to perform at a Super Bowl halftime show. And they got that Grambling State University marching band back in there, man. They really did. They weren't messing around. Super Bowl 33, I did the again. Bad. Every time I do it, I'm going to... Super Bowl 33, Pro Player Stadium in Miami. Celebration of soul, salsa, and swing. This is a pretty good lineup. Gloria Estefan, once more. She's very heavily associated with Miami, so good choice. One of my all-time favorites, Stevie Wonder. Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, for the kids, you know. And Savion Glover was a sort of a tap dancer and stuff, so he must have done a bunch of tap dancing. And then we get to the 2000s. Let's go to your comment. Let's see. She wronged me. Let's see. Coach Mike Rodick says, Doc Torn, brown chicken, brown cow. The Jolly Green Giant says, I hope Doc Torn calls in. He always has the best stories. He does. He loves Doc Torn. He loves the wolf. Loves everybody here but me. Scott LaRock says, a bunch of grand pianos and rockettes, but no Liberace? Sacrilege. I don't know if Liberace was still around for that. If he was, he would have been really old. Tierney says, that sounds awesome. Scott LaRock, okay, see, we're on the same page. Oh, Liberace died the year before Super Bowl 22. Missed it by that much. Mike Rodick says, I met Travis Tritt when he was out on his first tour. Had no idea who he was. Chef is in the house. We love it when the chef's in the house. Terry Nee says, I loved her clothing stores. I don't know specifically who you're talking about. I do know that Terry Nee frequents many ladies' clothing stores, however. Scott LaRock says, Blues Brothers are nothing without cocaine and John Belushi. Well, there's many who would agree with you. And many would agree that with cocaine, John is nothing. Just saying, don't do drugs, kids. Why do you think they call it dope? Think about it. The Tom Gulley Show cares. All right. The 2000s. This is a pretty good lineup here. Super Bowl 29, the Georgia Dome, Atlanta. The theme, why are we still having themes? It's 2000. We don't need the theme. The performers, though, this was a real good one. Phil Collins, Christina Aguilera, Enrique Iglesias, Tony Braxton, an 80-person choir from Georgia State University, and the whole thing was narrated by Edward James Olmos, who's very serious. He's just very serious all the time. Just very serious. Super Bowl 35, Raymond James Stadium, Tampa, Florida. The Kings of Rock and Pop was the theme. And the performers were, I would say, relatively far on ends of the scale. One of them was Aerosmith. The other was NSYNC. Yeah. NSYNC came out, started it off, and then Steven Tyler sang the last line of their song, and they switched over to them and went back and forth. A lot of people really, really, really liked this particular Super Bowl halftime show, and Aerosmith did a great job. Super Bowl 26, Louisiana Superdome, tribute to those killed in the September 11 attacks, And for that, they selected U2. And U2 did what would be sort of an epic halftime show. It was vast and majestic and very appropriate for the occasion. Super Bowl 37, Qualcomm Stadium, San Diego, California. No theme. It was Shania Twain, and by golly, I'm never going to be mad at Shania Twain. I don't know. I think she's divorced. It's Shania. Hold on. I got to go back to this thing here first. Shania. Numbers on the bottom of the... Anyway. Let's put her back up there again. Nobody puts Shania in the corner. I got you there. By the way, special guest star Sting. Now, Shania Twain, no doubt, and Sting, not bad. You don't need a theme for that, man. You do not need a theme for that show. And now, we've come to the portion of our presentation where, yes, Super Bowl 38, Reliance Stadium, Houston, choose or lose, emphasis on lose, I think, was the theme of this particular Super Bowl halftime show. Janet Jackson, P. Diddy, Nelly, Kid Rock, Justin Timberlake, and Jessica Simpson. I hear people trashing Jessica Simpson all the time. I ain't mad at her. No way, girl. Now, we had the wardrobe malfunction, which you see right over there. And is it just me, or looking back, are we surprised that P. Diddy is not the one that had the involvement in the wardrobe malfunction? I'm just saying. It's just a question. So after that one, yeah, things got a little... How did they respond? Well, maybe I'm amazed, but Super Bowl 39, Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville, Florida, Paul McCartney was the single performer. Super Bowl 40 was in Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. And the big act for that one was the Rolling Stones. Yeah, the Rolling Stones. Super Bowl 41, Dolphin Stadium in Miami. And you know what? I've got a few Super Bowl halftime shows that I think are the best of them all. And this one may be the one that I think is the best. And that is Prince. It was pouring down rain. I mean, like crazy. Obviously, it makes sense for Purple Rain, but he did the whole thing in just puddles on the stage and whatnot. It was an incredible halftime show. It really, really was. Super Bowl 42 was at the University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, which was a pretty good show. Now, Super Bowl 43 in 2009, here is a shot from the show itself. You can't tell who the performer was there. It is another of my favorite. And by the way, some of these you can go on YouTube and actually see the halftime performance of. You can't see the early ones, or nor would you want to. But a lot of these starting around now, you can go back and see. I think the Prince one you can. This one I know you can see. And it was Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. And I think it gave a lot of people an inkling of why Bruce Springsteen is an act you must see live. Even if you don't like him with his recorded music, Springsteen is incredible live. And this particular performance was amazing. Super Bowl 44 in Sun Life Stadium, Miami. It was The Who. By the way, we have now dispensed with the themes. There's no more themes. They got rid of the themes. I'm good. I'm glad, because I felt really stupid reading these themes. Anyway, after The Who came Super Bowl 45, and the headliners were, we just got through all those famous old rock acts. Now we're going to have somebody very contemporary, the Black Eyed Peas. The Black Eyed Peas did Super Bowl 45. As I recall, they did a very good job. I really enjoyed their performance. Super Bowl 46, Lucas Oil Stadium, my hometown, Indianapolis, Indiana. Madonna. There's a big one. And as I recall, her act was what you would expect it to have been. It was outstanding. It was incredible. But it was sort of out of the can and not that inspired, I would say. Okay. Super Bowl, some number, let's see, that's 45, I guess 47. Beyoncé in the Superdome in Louisiana. Destiny's Child joined her, by the way, which makes sense. Super Bowl 48, MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey, Bruno Mars. And Bruno Mars was joined by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Super Bowl, what did I say the last one? That's 48. 49 at the University of Phoenix, Arizona Stadium. Headliner was Katy Perry. Remember her with that shark, that one shark that was following around, that was leaning to one side and everything? Look, I'm never going to be mad at Katy Perry. You know what I'm saying? Never, for anything. And she had a little help. Lenny Kravitz and Missy Elliott. Now that's a pretty good lineup. Super Bowl 50, Levi's Stadium, Santa Clara, California. Coldplay. I'm sorry. But they did have some help. Beyoncé, Bruno Mars, Mark Robson, Gustavo Dudamel. So they had help. Super Bowl 51, NRG Stadium, Houston, Texas. This is another of my very, very favorite halftime shows. And this was Lady Gaga. And that woman put on a show. She was like hoisted down from the top of the stage. It was incredible. You can see that one on YouTube, and I recommend that you do. It's incredible. Super Bowl 52 was Justin Timberlake, and as I recall, there was a number of sound problems with that one. It was very, very, very bad sound. Super Bowl 53, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. This was a damn good one, too, I do have to say. It was Maroon 5 with Travis Scott and Big Boy. That was a pretty awesome one. Gotta say, sugar, you're so sweet. And, of course, I guess I feel a little kinship with that one because, as you know, I've got the moves like Jagger. By the way, here's Lady Gaga. Dead Lady Gaga. I got to get rid of one of the. I get rid of this one because I have to add another one to the lineup here. Let's put her there. I'm gonna add one. Hopefully, StreamYard won't just put it up on the screen against my wishes. But that's what they usually do. Usually, this is what they do. If they do, it's okay. I'll feel bad about it later. Let's see if they're gonna do me a solid and not put it up there. But I bet you they don't, because of course StreamYard. No, they didn't. All right, there's Lady Gaga. I'll let you look at hers there for a second. If you're wondering why she's dancing with that particular dress on, well, she was born that way, of course. Ra, ra, ooh, ma, ooh, la, la. Super Bowl 54, Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida. Shakira, Jennifer Lopez, joined by Bad Bunny. There you go. Super Bowl 55, Raymond James Stadium, The Weeknd. The Weeknd. Super Bowl 56. And by the way, this is a big lineup here. This one here, oh boy. Super Bowl 56, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem. By the way, I am not the real Slim Shady. Just saying, just in case anybody. Mary J. Blige and Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar. That was back in 2022. Super Bowl, I want to say 57, Rihanna, Jesse Collins, Jay-Z, and Rock Nation were also with her. Super Bowl 58, Allegiant Stadium, Paradise, Nevada. Here we go. Usher did that particular Super Bowl. I thought this was a great one too. And finally, just a couple days ago, from the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, Kendrick Lamar with Samuel L. Jackson, SZA, Serena Williams, and Mustard. So there's your Super Bowl history. Just so you know, the Super Bowl halftime show just a few days ago is the most watched Super Bowl halftime show. Audience of more than 133.5 million viewers. That might be due to the game. I don't know. Super Bowl 56 halftime show with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar, and 50 Cent is the most viewed Super Bowl halftime show on YouTube. 322 million views on the official NFL YouTube channel. Based on online metrics, Ticket Source says that the Super Bowl, with the Shakira and Jennifer Lopez is the world's most popular halftime show. I don't know what they base that on. The one with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, 50 Cent is the first Super Bowl halftime show to win the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Variety Special Live. The Super Bowl 51 halftime show starring Lady Gaga is the most nominated Super Bowl halftime show in Emmy Awards history, winning one. That was the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lighting Design and Lighting Direction for a Variety Special. And it was nominated a record 6 times. And that's all I got to tell you about the Super Bowl halftime show. Hey, please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell. Please do those things. They're free. They don't cost you anything. All you got to do is make a click, and it helps us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-knowing algorithm. And there's also super chats and memberships. We really, really, really need those to keep paying the bills around here. Plus, you can turn on your gifted memberships, and maybe you will get one. Maybe you will. There's always that chance. You never, ever know. I think I will put this right here up there. I think that's a better graphic to say sort of spectacle and all that. We do have some of your comments. We'll get to those, and then we'll go to the phone lines just briefly. Doc Torn is usually the voice of reason in the chat. Oh, wait, I got to go back here. Don't do high blood measurement. No, I don't have high blood pressure. I have low blood pressure. That's my problem. Julian Caesar says it's hard to get to the NFL without doing drugs. Where is Doc Torn? I think his gal is in town, so he's got better things to do, I'm sure. Doc is usually a voice of reason in the chat. Yeah, we got it the first time there, Jolly Green Giant, or Funky Bronco, whichever you'd like to be called. Rumpled Trenchcoat says it's so annoying that they called it a malfunction when it was obviously so planned. I know. Where's the wolf at? I love Wolfie. I am not my Wolfie's keeper. Jalen's too old for the diddler. Okay. Scott LaRock says, Prince asked a stagehand to make it rain harder. Wow. Prince did Purple Rain during the rain. Yes, he did. No halftime show is good like the Michael Jackson one. I need Wolfie in my life. Wolfie's a voice of reason. Needs Wolfie in my... We get it. Scott LaRock says, the Red Hot Chili Peppers suck. Band of degenerate pests. Okay. You should question anyone willing to marry Russell Brand. Now, see, Scott, that's a valid opinion, but I look at it differently. I look at it like, hey, if she married him, I stand a chance. Not a very good chance, but there's a chance. Mustard the condiment sucks. Mustard the DJ is awesome, says Scott LaRock. Okay. Let's go ahead and open up the phone lines. It won't be for very long. Not for long. I'm going to make some baked taters. Make them baked taters. Don't compare yourself to Brand. I know folks are hard on you, but that's bad. I'm not comparing myself to him. I'm placing myself above him. I'm saying if she married him, well then I may be awful, but I'm not him. My inferiority complex isn't that bad. Look, I've got some problems when it comes to dating. I require that the woman I date be at least 5 times hotter than I deserve, which is difficult. So I have to depend upon a woman's poor eyesight and bad judgment. And I don't know what if she wears contacts or anything. It's not, but the bad judgment, at least in that one instance, is there. Plus, I think she's really talented. You know, you make me feel like I'm living a teenage dream. The way you tell me I can't. Baby, you're a firework. And you're going to hear me roar. A nearsighted alcoholic. She's not an alcoholic, is she? I never heard that. Hey man, don't talk about my gal like that, dude. Please. 972-994-6822 is the number to call if you'd care to. We're going to keep it open for 5 minutes. And if nobody calls in, we're out of here. Why do I started playing this game on my computer, my phone, and now I get updates all the time. Want to play the game? Maybe you can play the game if you want. Incidentally, let me just show you something here. I also hate it when my phone tells me that my show... You punk of junk. Tells me that my show is on. Yeah, I kind of know that. Jeez. Scott LaRock says, I'm married. But if I were dating in today's climate, my main prerequisite to dating would be the other person be female. Well, I agree. Katy Perry's female, for crying out loud. For crying out loud. She's so gorgeous. And I'm going to just say it again. This Lady Gaga thing was incredible. Julian Zezer says the Super Bowl was really pushing flag football. I think it'll be bigger than soccer. Really? It'll be bigger than the most popular sport in the history of mankind on earth. Hey, if you're not good enough to play real American football, play flag football. Come on. Come on. Please. Please. You just said that to make me mad. Is what you did. That's what you done. 972-994-6822. That's all you were doing there. It was just a wild Hail Mary attempt to get me upset. Well, it worked. I'm so angry now. Why you? One of these days. New game. StreamYard freezing or Tom being annoyed? Wouldn't work. The bar moves at the bottom, so wouldn't really. I could take the bar off and it could work. All right. Oh, he lost. Hey, by the way, tomorrow night we are doing a show on John Dehner. John Dehner. I don't know if John Dehner was ever on Columbo. It'd be one of the few he wasn't, because he was on every damn thing. That man's on everything. So I'm finally going to tell you folks. I am finally going to bring you folks to the glory of John Dehner. And I believe I won't be able to play you any John Dehner for any of the 300 TV appearances he made on various episodic television shows and in movies. But I'm pretty sure I can play you some radio where you'll get to hear that voice and all that stuff. So, Julian Caesar. Thanks, Tom, for watching all those halftime shows so I didn't have to. Well, for many years, I was tasked by various publications to rate the Super Bowl commercials. I think my podcast has a couple of my reviews. I stopped doing it because I just ended up me trashing all the commercials. I don't like very many of them. Some of them I like a lot, but not very many. And therefore had to watch all the Super Bowls and take in the halftime shows. I have a problem with Gen Z and even with millennials. They look upon people my age like we are just clueless, lost. They have this weird, you're the beneficiary of the easiest time ever to grow up in the United States. You had it made. Everything was handed to you. I'm like, do you not know about the recession in the 70s and the destruction of the auto industry and how hard it was to get a job in the early... Fine. But the biggest problem I have is when they think I'm not technologically savvy. Have my own website since 1999. I've got this streaming show, got a podcast. My job is in digital media. Huh? You know? And I can't speak for other Gen Xers or boomers, whatever I am. And there's some validity. There's always been some validity to older people not keeping up with things. But as far as I'm concerned, me personally, I keep up with all stuff like that. And I always want to see and hear what the latest thing is. I ask people in their early 20s that I work with, hey, what are you listening to? What's the cool show that you like? I want to constantly be updating on all that because I want the cultural references. I want to see how things evolve. So can we just lay off with the... Yeah. Rumble Trenchcoat says, I'm pretty sure John Daner was at least one episode of Columbo. I think Swan Song with Johnny Cash, he played the aviation investigator, but I'll have to double check. Thank you, Rumble Trenchcoat. Julian Caesar says, Super Bowl commercials haven't been the same since Spuds MacKenzie passed away. I have a special hatred of Spuds MacKenzie because I worked with a woman whose big claim to fame was she was part of the team that did Spuds MacKenzie, and she wasn't even one of the creative people. She was like an account person, and I was always just looking at her like, that's your thing that you're going to hold over people? Spuds MacKenzie, really? I mean, it was a pleasant enough... I just thought it was kind of like... Spuds MacKenzie reminded me of Larry Bud Melman. It was somebody they made a big grandiose thing about that was intentionally non-grandiose. Anyway. Plus those little Jack Russell Terriers. Those are mean little dogs. They're like mentally deranged. They're awful little dogs. Awful. When they're puppies, they have really sharp teeth and they bite all the time, and they're just... A friend of mine had one, and I was praying it would wander into the street. Which really it can't. Its legs are too short. It doesn't really... Spuds was less expensive than maintaining all the Clydesdales. Yeah, and I'm getting a little sick of these overly cloying... unbelievable scenarios for the Clydesdales. The little Clydesdale wants to be part of the group. And, of course, the dummies that are tying the kegs of beer onto the back of the wagon being pulled by the Clydesdales. One of them falls off because, Budweiser, they transport things by wagon. It's just a little silly to me. Oops, he was in Columbo as the victim in Last Salute to the Commodore. My bad. Well, at least he was in it. Hey, hold on a second here. Why don't you look at, what would you guys like to look at? I think Shania Twain, maybe. Oh, never mind. Well, no, I have to check on something here. Something's going on out in front of my... Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see here. Did she win a German Army medal? No, I think that's a Celtic Cross. Frankly, Shania Twain does impress me much, yes. Her real name is Shania Clemens. Well, she married some people and some kind of mutt. I don't know what she's doing now, but I don't care. She's purty. I think she's purty. All right, closing down the phone lines. We'll give those a bye-bye. And that's going to do it. Tomorrow night, John Daner, and we'll have us a heck of a time with him. And let me make sure I got my sound thing back where it's supposed to be. I do. And I want to thank all you guys for being here. You're awesome as always. And also want to thank Julian Zeezer for the gifted membership. That was awesome. And that's going to do it for tonight's show. Please be here tomorrow night for our fabulous John Daner extravaganza. I'll see what I can put together for that. However, I am looking at that old clock on the wall, and it says, like the Reverend Al Green, it's time for me to get on up out of here. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Positive Patron saying thanks. Don't thank me. Thank you. You did all the work. And with all that being said, don't get mad at the Super Bowl halftime when it's not the way you want it. Sometimes it's not for you. Sometimes it is. Just check it out. It's not that long. You might see an act you really like. You might see one you don't care for. But just put it away after that. And all that being said, there's only one left to say. There's only one thing. With all that being said, there's only one thing left to say. See, we'll fix it in post. With all that being said, there's only one thing left to say, and that is, till next time, we'll see you next time.